Alright, I am sorry, everybody. I'm sorry for all those who wish for my demise. But today is not the day. Today is not the day. In fact, you may never again see a day that I'm late. I'm getting more and more confident. I just don't know if it's going to happen at this point. You guys may have to cash in. I'm sorry. You guys may have to cash in. It's just that time. It might just be that time. It might just be that time. Why is chat not loading for me? What's going on? Hello? What is going on? Shoot, something's not loading. What is going on, everybody? Hello, hello? The hell? Hello? What is going on? Alright, you know what? Good enough. Good enough. Good enough, good enough. Alright. Alright. What is going on? So, the hair, don't worry about the hair. Don't worry about the hair. We're gonna keep trying to grow it out longer. We're gonna try and grow it out longer and longer. We'll see what happens. We're at a good point to start a flashback? No, I think some crazy shit's gonna go down. I think we're gonna get some action, and then I think we're hitting the in-between section of the arc where we will get the tragic flashbacks and everything like that. Usually, in most One Piece arcs, right, shit goes down, then you get a sad flashback. Yeah. You get a sad flashback, right? So if we look through One Piece arcs, here, let me show you guys something. Let me show you guys something. We need a quick little list of One Piece arcs, right? Let me show you guys a quick little list. All right, so guess this is good. One second. First, let's get the streamlights up to 100 real quick. Let's get the streamlights up to 100. All right, let me show you guys this. So, in general, in One Piece arcs, right, we have a bit of a structure that we tend to follow. Where are we at? Is this out of order? This might be a little bit out of order, but we'll just roll with it. We generally have a bit of a structure that we tend to follow. Okay, so let's start with. Early arcs, let's move past, right? So in general, right, structure tends to be we hit you have your setup phase, then you have like negative shit that happens, then you get the arc flashback, and then we get the climax. That's the gist of it, okay? So like Skypiea, generally speaking, shit has setup phase, then NL fucks everybody up, then you get the Nolan Kalgara flashback, then we move on from there, right? To the arc, to the story climax, right? Water 7 Enies Lobby, we get generally the setup phase, then you get CP9 beating the Straw Hat's ass and everything like that. Then we get the rise back up, and then we get the flashback, and then we get the climax, right? Enies Lobby had a couple flashbacks, so Frankie and Robin, so they both had to be kind of grouped together. So honestly, you could kind of say like with Water 7 Enies Lobby, the flow is kind of set up, then bad stuff happens with CP9 kicking everybody's ass, then Frankie's flashback, then rise back up, try and chase after Robin, CP9 kicks their ass again on the C train, then regroup, Robin flashback, climax, right? Thriller Bark, I guess a different sort of, because Brooks' flashback came at the very end. Dressrosa had a lot of flashbacks, but setup phase. Law's flashback came again at a low point after Doflamingo kicked everybody's ass. I think generally speaking, the Fishman Island, same thing. Setup phase, Horty takes over, you get the flashback, and then Strahds kick everybody's ass. That's the general flow of it. It's not always the case, but like, it's generally after some negative shit happens, I think, do we get the flashback. Generally speaking. But I think it's, looking at it more, I think it's not a hard and fast rule. But I do think that Oda doesn't do the arc flashbacks super early before we get some good action. So I think usually there's some events, some exciting events that need to occur before Oda feels like it's time to delve into flashback territory, right? Just to keep, at the end of the day, he's got to keep his manga getting readers every week, right? So I think generally readers want the hype and excitement and drama of the plot, and then we feel invested in the flashback that follows. Bunfagum, thanks a lot. Morj out here looking like a poor man's Eren Yeager. There's no way Mrs. Morj is putting up with it. She is being gently okay with it. We're gonna see where it goes. But I still think that there's a future for this. I believe that this hair can slowly turn into something that looks good. Slowly. Here, let me pop this shit out. We'll get into predictions in a second. Let's get the stream likes up to 50 real quick. Patterns. Yeah, I think actually the flashback, when the flashback occurs, is not. I do think that actually looking at it again, that tends to vary. So I don't think I was right about that, what I just said. But I do think I'm correct that some shit tends to happen first before we get to a flashback. I don't think Oda launches with a flashback before anything interesting happens in the arc. Or at least action-wise. I think usually there's some major events that take place before we do a flashback. Lily, Emu, and Jobo is a love triangle thing? No, I don't think that's the case. Well, actually, maybe. I don't know if Joy Boy... The thing is, Joy Boy is like a Luffy-like figure, so if Joy Boy is like a Luffy-like figure, I don't know if Joy Boy would really be written like that. I don't know if he'd even be written with a romantic interest. Oh, let's get the stream legs up to 50 real quick. Yeah, hold on. Let's get into the chapter predictions. Let's get into the chapter predictions. Give me a second here. I feel like next chapter is a very, very, very difficult one to predict because it's just like there's genuinely a million different things that could happen. I think next chapter is a very, very difficult one to call. It's just too... I think Oda just threw so much shit at the plate on the plate at once. This is one of the most chaotic chapter launches that we've ever had, right? Because it's not just... What the hell is this? With this one, it's basically like... It's not just... It's not just the... It's so many things happening at once, right? So it's not just the Gods Knights making their move. It's like, okay, so there's monsters attacking... Right, so fears are coming to life and monsters are attacking. At the same time, children are sleepwalking to be taken captive. At the same time, the Gods Knights themselves might get involved in the action, right? And then down below, at the same time, Loki is starting to call down lightning on Elbaf, and they have to deal with that situation. And the monster trio is occupied there. So there's, I'd say, like 4 separate problems that have just taken shape. You could argue that the Gods Knights is all one problem at the same time, but like it's 3 individual... It's like one big problem composed of 3 subset problems, right? Kids are sleepwalking. We've got to deal with like an army of monsters that just arrived, and then the Gods Knights themselves are still hanging around, so they have to be fought most likely. And then on top of that, you have Loki, who is a whole problem on his own. So we are on now 11:43. People's predictions for 11:43. Hold on a second. What happened at the end of 11:39? Does anyone know? Does anyone remember what happened at the end of 11:39? I'm just curious. That was the last time that we did this. All right. Kanal Dashawal, thanks a lot. Hi Morj. What if Zora's Fear is facing Grim Reaper? I think this Friday we'll do Straw Hat Fear's prediction stream. What if Zora's Fear is facing Grim Reaper that he saw in Wano, and ever since he's afraid to go all out? Overcoming this fear will help him get a power-up to use Advanced Conqueror's Haki, just like Luffy. Thoughts? I feel like Zoro can already use Advanced Conqueror's Haki like Luffy. I think he hasn't really... I don't think he was using it for the majority of the Lucci fight. That's my personal take. I don't think he was using it for the majority of the Lucci fight. I do think that... how do I say this? I do think that Zoro's... I don't think Zoro has ever been implied to, like, it just wouldn't make sense for his character because he's never had a fear of death. Like, his very first iconic scene against Mihawk very clearly establishes that that is the point of his character, that he is so driven that he does not mind death if it's in the pursuit of his ambition. And that's literally what impresses, that's literally what impresses Mihawk in the first place, that Zoro would, like, he has a sword going through his heart, and Zoro's literally like, yeah, I would rather just die right now than take one step back from my dream. And that's been consistent throughout the series, right? There's never been a point in the story that it's like, oh, Zoro's actually afraid of death. So, if anything, that's something that was emphasized for Usopp in the in the Wano storyline, that Usopp's biggest fear right now is death, because Usopp talks very, very frequently throughout the Wano arc, and especially during Onigashima, about how scared he is of death. So I think if there's a storyline a fear of death in there, Zoro just doesn't make sense for that, because it kind of goes directly against the whole purpose or the whole concept of his character. Gold D Nika says first time catching live. Hey Morj. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Also, let's get the stream likes up to 50 real quick. It would be out of nowhere. Yeah, I just don't think it really makes any sense there. I think any character arcs need to be things that actually go to things that the character is currently lacking, or like areas that they have to develop. If anything, if it was revealed that Zoro is a fear of death, I think that would shit on a lot of the concept of his character in the first place. Alfredo Ibarra says, prediction, Old Man Yaro will tell us the truth behind the king's death, as the sword in his head is a reference to the curious case of Phineas Gage. Is that the guy who had like... he had something go through his brain. I thought it was like a needle or a spike or something like that. And was it? Am I crazy? Here's Gage of Phineas Gage. Mr. MMF2, welcome to the Yonko. Hold on. Here's Gage of Phineas Gage. Thank you for joining. Make sure to check out tomorrow's podcast. You now have access to the weekly podcasts that come out. And thanks for the support, man. Yeah, he was a construction worker who survived a horrific accident where a large iron rod impaled his head. Yeah, but he was... Oh, and it led to dramatic personality changes. That was interesting to read about, because it basically means that who we are is pretty much just an amalgamation of how our neurons are structured, right? All right, so Alfred Ibarra, let me put it down. I don't know if we're getting that revealed this early, but I think that'd be interesting. Or maybe Yaro will tell us something, like his belief as to what happened there, but I don't know if that would be accurate. Does that make sense? Because I think it's only once the sword is removed that we will get the truth. Yaro will tell us the truth behind the king's death. Brim, thanks for bringing a Yonko to your member for 5 months, man. Hey, Morj, hope your day has been going well. Prediction, Usopp will attempt to save a child, but ultimately will fail. That would be interesting. My day has been going well, I think. It's been a pretty lax day. I think, so what happened was, normally Mondays, we are scrambling to finish everything for the Tuesday video that comes out tomorrow. But my editor is on a bit of a vacation, so I mentioned last week's stream that last week, at the end of the week, we actually scrambled to get the video done way ahead of time. So there's nothing to actually worry about today because we got our homework done early pretty much. So he's out right now, so today was a relatively easier day. Usopp will attempt to save a child, but will fail. I could definitely see Usopp failing in some capacity here. Also, let's get the stream likes up to 50 real quick. I can drive. Thanks for bringing Yodko to your member for 23 months, man. What is your current prediction on the trajectory of Cross-Guild and the Straw paths converging? Cross-Guild is so... I think Cross-Guild is probably the most difficult... So I would say that, like, I feel like if you look at all the major groups, Cross-Guild is, in a way, the most interesting because it's the hardest to predict in terms of not just... Because the cast of characters is such a mishmash of characters, right? So there's not a single, like... there's not a single centering piece in terms of how are we supposed to view them. Are we supposed to view them as like protagonists? Or, like, for example, Law and the Law Pirates have been just fucking smashed, right? But we ultimately know that Law is supposed to be a protagonist figure in the story. And so likely he will get some future role in a protagonist sort of pathway. Maybe he'll converge and be allies with the Strahds again, something like that, right? Crossguild is really fucking hard to predict because unlike the Blackbeard Pirates, the Red-Haired Pirates, the Revolutionaries, the Celestial Dragons, we know where all of them kind of stand in terms of how we're supposed to view them as antagonists or protagonist figures. And there's also been enough build-up that we kind of know who their primary obstacle is going to be. Like, we know Red-Haired Pirates versus Blackbeard Pirates. That's going to be a thing at some point in time. We know Revolutionaries versus Celestial Dragons will be a thing at some point in time. We even know that Revolutionaries versus Blackbeard Pirates will likely happen at some point soon based on their recent plot threads, right? Cross-Guild, it's just like, we don't have a moral center for them, so are they supposed to feel like another group that we're kind of rooting for? Or are they a group that we're supposed to view as future threats or enemies for the Strahd Pirates? Or like a group that will ultimately band together alongside them against the world government? We also, at the same time, because none of those characters in Cross-Guild have a sort of preset level of importance to the story, right? Because characters like Dragon, we know, Dragon, Sabo, the Revolutionaries, we know are being set up to basically play a huge pivotal role in the final war against the Celestial Dragons, right? Likely the second biggest role outside of the Strahd Pirates themselves. We know the Red-Haired Pirates are going to be a huge pivotal role as sort of like Luffy's mentor figure, and ultimately their conflict with Blackbeard and just all the Figarland significance that's being built up right now. We know how important these types of characters are, right? With Cross-Guild, right now there are a collection of pieces that just don't fit anywhere else. We don't know how important these three characters are supposed to be in the grand scheme of things, right? Ultimately, it could be as simple as like, well, really, Mihawk's the only important one there, and he just needs to fight Zoro at some point in time. And this was just Oda's way of keeping certain characters relevant, but they're not going to be the biggest players in the grand scheme of things, right? But there's not a single sort of guaranteed plot thread outside of Mihawk versus Zoro that exists for Cross-Guild in the same way that it did for the Red-Haired Pirates, the Revolutionaries, the Blackbeard Pirates, the Strahd Pirates, the Celestial Dragons, even the Marines, right? There's no guarantees for anything in terms of Cross-Guild. That's why they're so cool, because they just can be anything that Oda chooses for them to be. They can play a huge role. They can just be a sort of spoiler role, not spoiler in terms of like story spoilers, but like play spoiler to other people's attempts or something, and be like kind of a wild card figure that ultimately isn't that impactful but adds some spice and like twists and turns to the narrative. If I had to guess right now, I feel like maybe I think Cross-Guild converging with the Strahds at Laugh Tale would probably be the most dramatic thing. I think at the moment they're set to conflict with the Marines, because the Marines have been talking about that. Cross-Guild's been talking about that. The bounties are out on the Marines. I think they could make a run for Weevil to try and rescue Weevil and add him to their ranks. That's my thoughts on what their immediate future is. I think in the long term, I think them running into the Strahds at Laugh Tale, maybe Zoro getting his fight with Mihawk then, could be good. That's my only concrete thought on it at the moment. Tom, thanks for 2. Non-Luffy fight you're most hyped for? Usopp versus Van Augur. Non-Luffy fight that I'm most hyped for, Usopp versus Van Augur would be cool. I think that I'm definitely hyped for, I think Zoro versus Mihawk would be really cool. I think this might be a cop-out answer, but I think any major Dragon or Shanks fight that comes up, like major as in like Dragon versus a Gorosei. Let's pretend Dragon, like these are non-guaranteed matchups, but let's pretend Dragon versus Garling or Shanks versus Shamrock. Any fight like that, I'm very, very interested in. Out of guaranteed fights, I'd say Zoro versus Mihawk. Mr. MMF2, thanks for bringing Yonko to your member for 29 months. Yo, Morj, I know you don't care about the anime, but who would you like to voice Loki? I'd like it to be Diavolo / Oga Tatsumi VA. Do Diavolo and Oga Tatsumi have the same voice actor? I've only watched a little bit of Oga Tatsumi, that's Beelzebub, right? I've only watched a little bit of that. But I read the whole manga. I didn't care for the anime that much. Loki, I just don't think I care enough about anime voice actors to actually give a shit. I don't think I have a good response to that. I just don't think I care enough. I just found Diavolo's voice actor to be kind of forgettable. And I found, I think out of all the JoJo's villains, Diavolo is maybe the most forgettable. I think his stand is memorable. But I think he himself is, I think he might be the most forgettable of the JoJo's villains. I think he was also very disappointing. I don't want to get into spoilers or whatever, but like, to me, Diablo is like a shining example of JoJo not having the best plotting early on, because like so much is made of the significance of his past. I'm not gonna get into the spoilers of that. I feel like that's, some people still want to enjoy it, right? So we'll leave that alone. But I don't actually have a hard care for who voices Loki. I think I would also personally like to see a little bit more of Loki's story and actions, I think, and his personality once he's freed, before I say something about who would be a good voice actor. Because once he's freed, we might get a better idea of like, what's he like when he's really unleashed and loose? Is he like a crazy madman type persona? Like, what is he like? Mingo Mango, thanks for the 7. Hi, Mr. Morj, looking hench. Thank you. Love the hairstyle. Oh, thank you. Prediction. Loki tries to damage Luffy, but fails in part due to Luffy's immunity. I could definitely see that. I do think he'll try and damage Luffy. Loki tries to damage Luffy, but fails potentially due to Luffy's immunity. You know what I found interesting? Is that if we go back... First, let's get the stream likes up to 100 real quick. But second, what I found interesting is that even if we go back to chapter... the chapter against Skopper Gaban, right? Even if we go back to that chapter... a lot of people were predicting that like Luffy would... like, he should wash Skopper Gaban or not have any issues. But even in that fight, where like, Luffy is definitely at this age stronger than Skopper Gaban is, right? No questions asked. But even now, in a way, Skopper Gaban, at least in terms of like, who's being made to look cooler, Skopper Gaban, like, Oda's not afraid to make Luffy look like kind of, like a little bit bumbling and a little bit fumbling to handle Skopper Gaban, right? Like, not ready to beat him up right off the bat, right? Like, Skopper Gaban basically was the one who was kind of shocking them and impressing them. And then Luffy and Zoro don't really get a moment to actually shine against him. If Oda was doing that with Skopper Gaban, right? I feel like if he was happy, not happy, but if he was okay with making Luffy look not having the upper hand against someone like Skopper Gaban, who we all know Luffy should be above at this point, then with Loki, who's a character who's been built up and hyped up for this long, right? With Loki, I feel like I would be surprised if Oda makes Loki look weak compared to Luffy right off the bat. I think that whatever we get next is going to be something that hypes Loki and makes him look really good, rather than something that hypes up Luffy, personally. Aether, thanks to the 2. Zeus will be mistaken for a fear. Oh, I could see that. Zeus will be mistaken for a fear. Charitard, thanks for the 10. I always like that name. When the anime gets to the mural, the song SPNNE by Ramstein would be perfect to capture the theme. The lyrics are a countdown to the coming of the sun, and the music video depicts slaves mining gems. I'm going to pull that up. No, I'll probably get copyright struck. I will listen to that later. Interesting. What is that? I don't know what I'm just going to look it up. I'm not going to click on the video or anything. SPNN Son by Ramstein. Oh shit, you guys think I'll get in trouble if I play like 10 seconds of it? It's kind of cool. Okay, we'll play 10 seconds. I'll play 10 seconds from the middle part, okay? Is everyone ready? Do I have desktop audio on? Let's see. Okay, we'll play 5 seconds. All right, ready? Get set. Okay, that's it. I don't know if that would play in One Piece. I may have just risked this whole video for that, but it's probably okay. Alright. It's probably okay. Tom, thanks. What about Cross Guild versus Marines? Cross Guild versus Marines. First of all, Tom, I hope you're doing okay from last stream. Second, Cross Guild versus Marines. I think that's something that will happen in the in-between. I personally think, look, so in my opinion, right, this is extra stuff. This is outside stuff, right? So breaking a little bit from this. In my opinion, if we're breaking down these groups, right, revolutionaries, I don't know, God's Knights, Blackbeard, Pirates, Marines, Cross Guild, Red-Haired Pirates, right? If we're breaking down these groups real quick, I personally think that while we can imagine, I imagine revolutionaries and God's Knights being, I guess you could call, primary enemies for one another down the line, okay? I imagine Blackbeard Pirates and Red-Haired Pirates being primary enemies for each other down the line. Cross Guild and Marines, I don't know at the moment. But I feel like in the in-between, I think we see some matchups where I think it's Revolutionaries versus Blackbeard Pirates first. That was sort of set up. I did a whole video on this, but this was what was kind of set up in the last few chapters right before LVAF started, which is that it was established that the Marines feel like they have to do something about Cross Guild before it gets out of hand. So the Marines want to make a move on Cross Guild. So there's something that's going to happen there. I think that the Blackbeard Pirates even just taking the initiative to launch a jailbreak for Weevil might be a good way to get the ball rolling, actually. But I do think that Marines and Cross Guild is sorry, I'm fucking mixing things up. I don't know where my head's at right now. Revolutionaries versus Blackbeard Pirates. Sorry, this was set. I actually just totally mixed up two trains of thought. I don't know what's happening right now. Okay, Marines and Cross Guild. I think that was something that was set up right before LVAF, right? In Marines talking about how they need to do something about Cross Guild, and Cross Guild's primary target so far has been the Marines, and potentially a jailbreak attempt on Edward Weevil, right? Revolutionaries versus Blackbeard Pirates. That was something that was also set up. In the sense that Revolutionaries are doing a blockade right now. Blackbeard Pirates are going to do something about the blockade, and it seems like it's to get on the good graces of the Celestial Dragon, so it seems like they're going to go up against the Revolutionaries, right? God's Knights are currently the main villains of Elbaf, but it does seem like there's a ton of build-up for Shanks and the Red-Haired Pirates to show up in Elbaf, so I think that this is an early matchup we're going to get as well. So, to me, in terms of early matchups that we're going to be getting, and these are not the final matchups, but I think that these are things that we're going to be seeing skirmishes of in the near future. So when you're talking about Marines versus Cross Guild, I think that's an upcoming early matchup that we're going to see. I think Revolutionaries and Blackbeard Pirates, I think that's an early upcoming matchup that we're going to see. God's Knights versus Red-Haired Pirates, I think we're going to see that in some capacity here in Elbaf. I do think the Red-Haired Pirates will arrive at some point, and the God's Knights are the main villains of Elbaf, so I think we're going to get something there. But I don't think that this is where all of these storylines wrap up. I think this is just to showcase more and more of these various groups. And I think in the final war, which is the arc after Elbaf, I think that's when we really get the full sort of... that's when I think we get Blackbeard Pirates versus Red-Haired Pirates. That's when I think we get Revolutionaries versus God's Knights. Marines will figure it out. Cross Guild, I don't fucking know where they fit. But that's my general gist of how I feel things are going to go. Bunfagun, thanks for the 7. My prediction is the Giants try and fail to put the fires out, setting up for Nami and Usopp to shine. Oh, interesting. Giants can't put the fire out, setting up Nami and Usopp to shine. You know what? These Giants would be really dumb. I don't think the Giants have ever been implied to be that smart, but I think they'd be exceptionally dumb if... the fuck? What the hell? I'm not screen sharing the correct screen? Oh my god. Seriously? Have you guys not been able to see this stuff this entire time? This is actually very upsetting. I don't know why this is doing this. Okay, give me a second. Let me just move this. What the fuck? Okay, have you guys not been able to see this entire time? Has this been the entire stream so far? I'm actually very upset about this. Because I don't know what the setting is that has caused that to happen. Let's see. Because this is normally the screen that it works for. I don't know. Just it is what it is. It is what it is. But this actually is maybe a little bit easier to do. Okay. Shit. Oh my god. Alright, okay. Well, it is what it is. At least we fixed it. But I gotta figure out why that is, because last stream, that wasn't the case. I feel like there's something I'm doing with my OBS that's incorrect, because it seems to pick and choose which screen to do it, because I think it did the swap a couple streams ago, and then the last stream it was fine. I don't know. I guess we'll just see. We'll see. There's got to be something I can do to fix this, but at the moment, I guess we just play the guessing game of figuring out which screen it'll show up on. But I will say this. If the Giants' main weakness of Elbaf is fire, then they should be, like, really fucking good at putting out fire, right? Like, they should have a crack firefighting team, because their whole island is made out of wood, right? Well, I hope that this makes things a little clearer for you guys, because you guys obviously couldn't see what any of the predictions are. But these are the predictions that we've got so far. I say let's get the stream likes up to 100 for the sake of us now having the prediction stream actually up. Quick maths. Thanks for the 5. Hi, Morj. I think we're going to cut to Shamrock and Morj next chapter. Maybe even get an Egghead-style intermission. But I feel like the action... I mean, I'm going to write that down, of course, but I feel like the action still needs to take off, right? So with Egghead, we got some action going, and then we cut away. This would be very, very abrupt, I think. I think it's a little bit too early. I think Oda needs to give us something before cutting away, personally. Cut to Shamrock in Morj next chapter. Maybe even an Egghead-style intermission. Okay. My thought with that is just... How do I say this? I don't know. Let me check. Was Shamrock still here last chapter? I feel like Shamrock hasn't gone home just yet, right? Shamrock is still at the island, as far as I can tell, right? Fuck. 11:42. Let's see. Was Shamrock in the latest chapter? No. We really just see the God's Knights at the end, right? I really hope Shamrock is still here, but it doesn't look like he's here. Fuck, did Shamrock fucking go home? No. Shamrock went home, that'd be fucking disappointing. Actually, it wouldn't be that disappointing, because you know what's cool? Think about this. So the Blackbeard Pirates are about to do something at Morj, right? And so are the Revolutionaries. So we could get to see Shamrock debut there. That would be cool to see. That would be cool to see. But I don't know if we're getting that right now. Let me close this real quick. I guess I can just do this. All right. So you guys don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm realizing some things in terms of, like, I might actually prefer having... So the way it was before is the screen I would share to you guys is this laptop screen that's in front of me. And the screen that I would view chat on would be this other screen on the side. But now it's swapped. And now I'm thinking that this might actually be better. This might be easier. We might be rolling with this in the future. I don't know. Yeah, Shamrock left. Is it confirmed? We kind of just don't... We don't see him here among this trio? Why the fuck? Why did Oda have Shamrock leave, though? He's the most... I thought we were going to get to see the debut of his abilities pretty soon. Is it just to debut Shamrock against some other character? Don't know about this. Keep it low-key, please. Thanks for your first super ever, and thank you for the 10. Always wanted to ask, in the story, how many days do you think are left until the final war or end of series in general? Also, what do you think about Luffy or Nika having the power of every race? I don't think... Okay, so let me talk about the first or the second question first. Luffy or Nika having the power of every race. I don't think that's really a thing because it's supposed to be the power of imagination, right? I think one thing that does tend to happen is that Luffy tends to go giant mode very frequently, right? He turns into a giant. But I think that just happens to be a byproduct of Luffy being able to imagine himself however he wants, right? I don't think literally that's him using the power of the giants. I think that's just a power of the Nika fruit, like size changing. Just, I think it's more reality warping based at the end of the day. So I feel like it's not. I think almost like having the power of every race almost limits what the Nika fruit is, rather than what we're currently seeing it as, which is just like hypothetically anything is possible, right? So I get where that's coming from because Nika is something that every race prays for, that we've seen, but at the same time, I don't think that that's going to be. Yeah, I think that that's not just. I think that that would be more limiting than what the Nika fruit actually is. As for how many days are left, I think in One Piece, the amount of days or weeks that pass are almost irrelevant. It's always very difficult to tell unless Oda outright says something, because we're always a little bit unclear about the amount of time, or we're usually a little bit unclear about the amount of time that is spent traveling between island to island. Like, I don't know how much time passed between them leaving Whole Cake to them getting to Wano. I don't know how much time passed there. So, and I think Oda doesn't want to put a hard lock on that either. I've seen some people say that, like, even at its very longest, all of pre-time skip might have just been 3 months. And in a shorter frame of time, like, if you go by a shorter potential period of time, it might have been 1 month. There's some interesting posts breaking down, like, how early on it seemed like Oda was very conscious of the moon cycles. And you could actually see how the moon shifted over the course of different One Piece arcs early on in the story. So there was a clear way to kind of track time early in One Piece. And then at some point, Oda just stopped doing that, or it stopped being consistent or something like that. So it probably would have been too much of a hassle to think of. If I were to say how many more days do I think are left, it's really fucking hard to say. Because, like, very easily what could happen right now is, like, because sometimes there's just full weeks that nothing happened, right? Like in Wano, almost all of the important stuff happened in the first week, and then after that there's just another week where nothing happens, where basically it's just like leading up to the fight with Kaido, right? I might be mistaking that. It might be like first few days stuff happens, and then there's 2 weeks leading up to Kaido. I forget exactly, but in Wano there's kind of a pretty tight, like a pretty fast time skip that goes by in a few chapters, right? So we could have something like that again in Elbaf, where basically we have this scenario play out. God's Knights leave temporarily. They're going to come back at the end of the arc, right? And then during that time that they leave, maybe a week passes, maybe a day passes, right? If I were to guess, I think everything wraps within the next month. I think that's how it's going to go. I think everything happens in the next month. That's my feeling. I do think that fast travel has to be unlocked in some way during that period of time. So maybe the Strad's getting the paw fruit or something like that. Not sure. Stephen Dreyer, thanks for 5. Do you think Scopper will show up anytime soon or just wait it out? I think Scopper, we might be waiting till this stuff concludes. But I think there might be a brief clutch moment that he comes in play in the upcoming, like in this sort of disaster scenario where like monsters are at play and everything. Scopper might step in to help or something, especially if his son ends up being targeted. Stormfox, thanks for the 2. How mad would you be if no Shanks in Elbaf? I think it'd be just really bizarre because it's an arc that's like Shanks has been mentioned more times in this arc. One, he fucking started off being in this arc. Like, he is the first character in Elbaf before everybody else was there. He was there, right? It kicks off the storyline with him in Elbaf. 2, all the other characters that are here in Elbaf are fucking talking about him and obsessed with him, right? Loki, fucking the main villain, Shamrock. He's like fucking Shanks' twin brother, right? Luffy, very Shanks focused in this storyline, right? Scopper Gaban, fucking talking, like, he just met up with Shanks and is, like, going off of what Shanks told him, right? Everybody's fucking talking, like, the whole arc is already built around Shanks. I don't know if I'd be mad if Shanks doesn't show up, because it's, like, who knows how, like, maybe there's just a big setup for him in the next storyline or something, but it would just feel bizarre. It's like, he's been talked about more in this arc than he has in all the previous arcs of One Piece combined, I think, right? This whole arc in 16 chapters. Sorry, are you okay? Hey, are you okay? You okay? Good boy. You okay? Yeah. Good boy. Yeah. Sorry, my dog was, he's fine. He was reverse sneezing. If you guys have a dog, you know what that is. I think that it's very... So, I don't think there's a chance that we will get no Shanks in Elbaf. I mean, there's obviously a chance for everything, right? I think it's very, very possible that Shanks won't play a major role in Elbaf. I do think there's a solid chance... Like, I think it's possible that he comes in a big way at the end, and he gets a sort of extended role in the climax of Elbaf, but maybe not during the middle phase of Elbaf, just because we've already got so many characters to work with here. It's possible that Oda will want to spend more time with them. The one tricky aspect of this all is that I do believe that this is Usopp's arc, and Yasopp is very important to Usopp's storyline from the things that have kind of been set up. So I do see that as kind of a reason that the red-haired pirates might show up a little bit earlier than the end of the story. So I think that can happen. If I were to bet right now, I feel like there's a lot of shit that has to happen first. I don't think Shanks is going to be crashing the party right now. I think that there's a lot of shit that has to happen first, but I do think Shanks is very important character-wise to a lot of the ideas of this arc. Kebs, thanks for the 7. Big fan, but that hairstyle is not doing it for me. God damn it. All right, that's it. I'm doing a poll. Prediction. Someone says that it's crazy that Shanks defeated Loki. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that's a very fair prediction. Hold on. Someone says that it's crazy that Shanks defeated Loki. Nicholas Nick, thanks for bringing a Yonko tier member for 11 months. I wish I had something like the guy with his lover, with his love life, or that guy that talks about Pokemon. I'm on a journey to find my purpose in this stream, but also in the universe. Listen, man, there are more important I'd say focus on your journey to finding your role in the universe. You've got a good name, Nicholas Nick, but I can't say that you have the best name out of the people that regularly come through out of the stream regulars. So I don't think you qualify even for that. What poll? Okay, we can do a hair poll. Here, let's do it. We'll do a hair poll. All right. Manny says hair is good, long, but different style. All right. Fading faces. I miss shorter hair, Morj. All right, I'll just do a poll. The results of the poll are irrelevant. Keep growing hair out. Yes. No. I'll leave it up to you all. I'm not actually going to listen to the results of the poll, though. So just keep that in mind. Oh my god. Okay, only 2/3 of people say that I should cut the hair short. Only 60% of people say that I should cut the hair short. That's... Oh, now it's cut down to 50? All right, here we go. That's pretty good. All right, we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep doing this for a little bit. All right, it's close enough that I think we're going to keep doing this. Yeah, killing him does the sleep, right? Sommers, I don't think does the sleep, from what I'm seeing right here. Some people are saying that Sommers seems like a Sanji opponent because he's talking about love a lot. I'll let it up once those runs reach the ship. Do you think to love is inevitably hurt one another? I think none of these Gods Knights... I'm going to be honest. I think none of the Gods Knights just yet are really speaking to me. In terms of, like... None of them have striking personalities just yet that I like them a lot. Okay, I'm going to say something real quick, which is, like... So Shamrock, I think... There's something missing for Shamrock. Right? Because in theory, he's a very, very strong character. But you know what? You know what it is? I think in general... Okay. Let's say this. Okay, quick. Tell me a strong One Piece character. You guys can think of. Like, who's a strong One Piece character with, like, a lot of aura, as they say? Huh? Who's, like, a big, important One Piece character? Tie your hair? I've actually considered that. I used to think that the man bun is stupid. But then I thought about it, and I was like, well, what if I could do it? If I could do it, it would no longer be stupid, would it? So I'm considering that. We'll see. Kaido, right? Kaido, great example, right? With Kaido, you go to the chapter, at least villains. Villains. Let's go with villains. Specifically villains, right? With Kaido, like his introduction was very, very, very dramatic, right? Like so much, a whole fucking, maybe the best introduction of any character in One Piece, right? So much to his introduction. But then even, you can pick another character like Big Mom, right? Big Mom arguably had 2 introductions. The first was at Fishman Island, where she got a phenomenal introduction, right? And then the really big one was at Whole Cake Island, where she's introduced with a whole musical number. These are things that are impactful introductions that just give you a sense of, like, what this character is about. Fucking Green Bull, like, his introduction was him, like, sucking the life out of King and Queen. That was, I don't know if you guys remember, but that was an insanely hyped chapter when it came out. It's just forgotten because, so what happened next is Oda went on a 4-week break, and as soon as he got back from the break, the first thing that happened is that Shanks just destroyed all of Green Bull's aura. But if you guys remember, there was so much hype around Green Bull from his introduction, because just the way, what he did to King and Queen that easily was, like, people were blowing that out of proportion. And then he started marching towards Wano, so people got really fucking excited, like, oh shit, is Green Bull just gonna fuck everybody? Like, there's so, if you go back and watch the theories, videos, Reddit posts, etc. from that period of time, Green Bull was just being gassed up to heaven, right? Just in general, like Loki, Akainu, right? Aokiji, first thing he does is, like, just freeze the ocean and scare the shit out of all the Strahd pirates, right? Even a Blackbeard, who had, like, an underwhelming introduction, it still concluded with him giving that, like, a simple introduction. I wouldn't say underwhelming. It was just, like, a different sort of introduction where it's, like, meant to be sort of like, what was that? That was interesting. And then he gives that very poignant line that sticks with us for the rest of the story, right? Shamrock, I think the thing is that the only thing that he's got going for him right now is just, one, I don't think his design is that badass. But it can't be, because it's just supposed to be Shanks again, right? So it's not that badass, but it's kind of just, it's pretty straightforward, right? And his introduction is very straightforward as well, which is just taking off his hood, and it's like, oh, Shanks' brother, holy shit. But, like, that's all there is to it. He has no interesting lines of dialogue, and he has no, the glimpse that we see of his ability, which is just the Cerberus, it's not an intimidating ability. It's just kind of like, if a fucking pre-time skip villain had that, it'd be like, oh shit, this doesn't mean jack shit, right? So, because of those things, I think that right now, there's a kind of a question mark around Shamrock in terms of, like, we just know that he's probably supposed to be strong, but the narrative has not yet punched that in to make us feel like he's that. However, I would say, flip side, I think something similar happened with Garling, where in Garling's initial introduction, where he was introduced as, like, just this dude who's executing a celestial dragon, it was kind of like, there's nothing about that suggests he's that strong. Like, I think a lot of people are like, oh shit, like, Shanks' dad, probably a big deal, but, like, there's nothing that unique about that introduction or anything. I think the cool part of the introduction was, like, the real moment that we really understood, like, oh shit, Garling is really going to be a big deal in the grand scheme of things, was this chapter. Like, this is a seriously great chapter, I think. It was voted as one of the best chapters of the year in our Chapter of the Year poll and everything. Like, this moment where Garling just, like, walks into the elders' house, just, like, talks down to them, and then takes a seat as the 5th Gorosei, and then you realize, holy shit, this dude isn't, like, beneath the Gorosei. He's probably not far past his prime and everything like that. This dude has just Oda's probably just positioned him as the strongest Gorosei and the strongest of Imu's subordinates and the strongest Celestial Dragon, right? So, with Shamrock, I wouldn't be surprised if it's something similar, where, like, we just got the beginning introduction establishing that he exists, and now later on we will get the impactful scene. But I do crave these impactful introduction scenes because Oda does them so well historically throughout the story. I think that's still missing for Shamrock at the moment, and that's why he feels like a vague character to kind of scale. That's why I'm sort of disappointed that he's being sent home, because I'm like, no, have him do something, have the man do something. But there is shit happening at Morj, so that maybe that's where he can debut his abilities. Oh, am I early compared to the stream time? Wait a second. Hold on. Can somebody tell me what was the stream time set to? Can someone tell me what was the stream time set to start? This is a daylight savings issue. That makes sense. Okay, quick pause. This might be a daylight savings issue. The stream was set for 9 p.m. EST. Okay, 9 p.m. EST. So, the stream setup is done. We have an assistant who works overseas. She must not know that daylight savings just happened, and usually she schedules things and sets things. I think she just does the math manually in terms of like hours, but she didn't know that our hours in America sprang forward an hour. So if she set it for 9 p.m. EST, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That makes sense. She set it for 9 p.m. EST. I asked for 8 p.m. EST, which is just the usual. But I just got to give her a heads up about that, hey, daylight savings just happened. That's interesting. All right, cool. All right, so I'm early as fuck then. Sorry for people who are tuning in now. That makes sense too, because like, if you go back to the very beginning of the stream, I was kind of thrown because I was like, normally there's a certain number of viewers that are waiting before the stream starts, or at least guessing like how late am I going to be and stuff like that. At the start of this stream, I thought something was glitching because there was pretty much very few people there, and I was just like, is nobody hype about the upcoming chat? Like this was a fucking huge ass cliffhanger we were left on. All right, that makes sense. Anyway. I actually thought that something was glitching, maybe. Okay. Eric J.O., thanks for Yonko tier member for 17 months, man. Thank you. What's up, Mr. Morj? How are you? I'm good. I'm doing good. How about you? Appreciate all the content. Oh, appreciate the support, man. Thank you. My prediction is Loki tells Luffy it was Shanks who wounded him. Loki tells Luffy it was Shanks who wounded him. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if more Shanks talk. Loki tells Luffy it was Shanks who wounded him. I'm sorry about that, guys. I will make a note to take care of that now. Actually, I'll just give a heads up right now. Hold on. Let me do a heads up right now. Daylight savings happened, so hold on. Gap between our time and your time, it shrunk an hour, right? I'll just say the gap between our time and your time has changed. Okay. Yeah. Where are we at? Kimi Scaverto says, Shamrock said in chapter 1140, with your combined powers, we could make a game out of this, so I guess put to sleep by killing him. Sleepwalking is Gunko's arrow. Monsters Ainge, who's the traitor, plus Sommers. Untouchable sleeping kids is Gillingham. Oh, okay. So maybe everything is... So you're thinking that I could see that, because the abilities could be pretty spread out, right? Like, that does make sense, because... Because I kind of jumped to the assumption that Killingham was the one who was doing I thought Killingham was doing the nightmare aspect, but the fact that he sleeps so much, I could see the sleep ability being his ability. Shit, and then if Sommers is the fear ability, that would make a lot of sense, because the fear ability seems to be pretty stupidly powerful. I like that explanation. I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Do you guys think that makes sense? Also, I did not read the Viz translation of this chapter, so I kind of want to check the Viz translation real quick. Sometimes I forget to read the Viz. Hold on. One Piece 1142 Viz. Let's see the Viz real quick. I'm sure I won't get in trouble for this. I'm just gonna skim. Quick skim. Yeah, I'll let you guys read too. Quick skim of Viz. Any big changes? Blah 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 blah. Huge snake. Blah 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 blah. Everyone run. We got trouble. Language teacher, Miss Ainge. Okay, librarian. Okay. Yep. Oh, his move is called midterm exam? Am I stupid? Maybe I skimmed that, but I fucking forgot. That's fucking hilarious. Did he say that in TCB? Did he say that? That's actually so funny. Did he say that in TCB? Midterm exam? Or was it... Is his final move final exam? That's actually really funny. Mr. Saul, Mr. Principal. How come the principal doesn't have a super move? Okay. Here we go. Alright. Gym teacher, blah, blah, blah. I like how everyone just collectively agreed that Ange is likely a traitor. Even from the beginning. Like, I think she had like 5 spoken lines in the manga, and people were on board with her being a traitor. Don't touch the children, blah, blah, blah. They fell asleep and wouldn't talk to us. Okay. Look at the forest. There are more monsters there. Alright. Okay, Loki shit. I'm gonna save Elbaf, undo the final cuff. Eventually they'll hit something, the fires will spread, you know what I can bring you all the ruin. I feel like Luffy and them should do something at this point. God damn. Alright. I still feel like this lightning ability is not his devil fruit ability, because I feel like you can't use your devil fruit ability almost at all, right? Like, I feel like you can't use it at all if you're touching the sea, as far as I know. You can still move around and stuff to a degree, but that was my understanding. Okay. Look, blah, blah. Ghosts, blah, blah, blah. The lightning dragon. Teacher, if I have to think of so many scary things, I'm gonna have a nightmare tonight. These things are a vision of the world that terrifies the children the most, blah, blah. Yeah, so killing them falls asleep a lot. Good job they're killing them. The time limit is until the kids reach the ship. Do you think you can get them back? To know love is to wound another. Say, Gunko, are you afraid of anything? Okay, I got a couple polls for you guys. I think that, yeah, there's a couple interpretations for this, potentially. Okay. So first, I want to ask this. Is it... People say it's a magical hammer. I don't know why people are averse to the idea of the hammer eating a dove. Let me ask about Loki first. Loki's hammer ability. Loki hammer lightning how? Loki's fruit. Hammer has devil fruit. Magic hammer. Technology hammer. That's all I got. Those are the 4 options that I've heard about the hammer. Okay. Also, let's get stream likes up to 150 real quick. Knerp says Law couldn't use his when Hawkins stuck him with a sea stone nail. Yeah. Good point. The one weird thing was that, like, when in Arlong Park, Luffy still functioned as rubber even when he was underwater. but Luffy's devil fruit, I suppose, functions differently. It's kind of weird. I don't know why Luffy's fruit still work like that. Wait a sec. When Chopper is dropped into water, does that just make him stupid? I feel like this has never been explored. Like, is Chopper basically just a normal reindeer brain person when he's underwater? Yeah, I'm just surprised a lot of people think it's Magic Hammer instead of Hammer as Devil Fruit because, like, maybe it's a Magic Hammer, but I don't know what Magic Hammer even means. Isn't any weapon that has, like, magic properties to it basically a Devil Fruit? I guess Enma really skewed things a little bit, but we kind of just got the sense that, like, over time that, like, Enma's not really that different from, like, a Kitetsu blade, basically, which is just... There's no real magic to them. That, like, they don't summon lightning or do additional things, right? It's just... It requires a particularly powerful spirit to wield it. That's pretty much all Enma is, right? So, I don't know about that. I think maybe Enma skewed people's views, but there's a big difference between Enma actually being able to produce lightning versus, like, Enma just requiring a strong spirit to tame, like Kitetsu. Okay. I guess, I don't know. I don't know how to address the Magic Hammer stuff. I guess we'll find out. But regardless, I think most people, at least about 90% of people, seem to think that that's not Loki's fruit. And that's the main thing that matters here. And my second question is the nightmares produced... what abilities are being used? Killing him equals sleep. Sommer's nightmare equals monsters. Or killing him equals sleep plus monsters. Now I'm leaning towards or fears, I guess is Sommer's. Now I'm leaning towards that explanation of Sommer's doing the fears and killing him doing the sleep. Because I think it's interesting that Sommer's asked the question about, like, what do you fear? All right, let me catch up on supers here real quick. Tom, thanks a lot. Frankie takes out a nightmare. Frankie takes out a nightmare. I think that's a fairly safe prediction. Thanks, Tom. Or not a fairly safe, but I imagine the Strahds taking on one of the or like taking down one nightmare or something would be pretty good. Keep in mind the nightmares, like, I think it's easy to underestimate because we saw how easily Saul and the Principal took them out. But those things are huge. Like, genuinely, those things are each individually, like, oars sized or something like that, right? Like, those are really, really, really gigantic. At least oars sized, I think. I think minimum. Because, maybe even bigger. Like, these might all be... Like, this dragon is actually just... When you put it in the perspective of this stuff being literally... Like, it's giant-sized stuff to giants. I think, actually, now that I think about it, the more... It's not even oars. I think the more accurate comparison might be, like, this shit. I don't even know about this turtle thing. Hold on. Sorry, I keep forgetting that this isn't the screen that's being shared. Hold on. So I'm looking at the size of these monsters, right? And so if they look like genuine like, forget oars, actually, because oars is just like the size of a particular... Like, Loki is oars sized, right? These things are way bigger than that. So in actuality, I'm looking at it like they might even compare to... Look at this shit. Like, is it like this? You think it's legitimately like, remember back when, like, the Strahds came across these gigantic shadows? Obviously, the shadows we learned later on are not real things. They're just shadows. But do you guys think that, like, proportionally, the Strahds might now actually have to fight creatures that are this size? Because if you just look at it, I know Oda's not always the best with scale, but I don't know, like, if the giants are this big, right? And giants are probably, like, the size of the Strahd's ship. then I don't know, this fucking dragon thing, right? This dragon is fucking huge. I don't know. It's not too far off at the very least. Like, this is kind of ridiculous. Like, think about that. Like, this dragon, I don't even know what to say. Like, this dragon could probably eat San Juan Wolf in one bite. I think it's kind of ridiculous. I don't know. I might be exaggerating, but, like, it'd basically be asking, like, is this giant right here, like, the size of Pika? I don't think we have a great scale just yet, but I don't know. Like, I don't know how many Strahds can actually defeat creatures of this size. Because even that snake that was defeated early on in the chapter, I think it's on the smaller scale of things in terms of... Maybe not the smaller scale. Anyway, it's kind of crazy, though, what we're dealing with here. Mingo Mango, thanks for the 7. I started One Piece channel 2 months ago and have about 1,000 subs. That's amazing. Just wondering, what should I do to avoid a viewer plateau? Well, what's your channel? Mingo Mango, let's do a quick breakdown of it. Let's take a quick look. Also, because you guys are curious, quick break. Well, Mingo Mango, post your channel, please. Quick break. Does the link work? Do I need to do mod Streamlabs again? Ah, here we go. Allow me to show to you guys one of the best sets of islands that we've had yet. These are some of the cool ones that we were really saving. Because these are kind of the legendary type ones. Impel Down, I would argue, not necessarily legendary, but the rest are more so like the legendary concepts of islands. Impel Down has a big legend around it, basically, in terms of like the undersea prison. But everything else, Morjua, Land of the Gods, Impel Down, One Piece's Hell, Laugh Tale, the Lost Land, and then God Valley, the other Lost Land. So we went with kind of the most like hyped up, talked about legendary islands in One Piece, or like the most special heaven and hell type islands of One Piece, the most symbolically significant islands in the story right now. So I love the artwork for God Valley. This shit is fucking beautiful, absolutely heavenly, or like World War, like War of the Heavens type depiction. Morjua looks literally like heaven. Impel Down, Impel Down, you got a ton of layers to what's going on here if you take a look closer at the image. And then Laugh Tale, I loved what he did with this because he went with the Aurora Borealis style for it. Because we don't know a ton about Laugh Tale, but we know the mystique surrounding it. And if you look at all the depictions of Laugh Tale, they're all something like this. But I do like the idea that it's connected to space in some way, so it's got that mysticism attached to it. You can get all of these islands at the One Piece, or the Morj store. And I'm going to pin it for you guys, of course. And if you want to get all 4 islands, you can get all 4 of them just bundled together for 50% off all the islands. So make sure you check that out. Anyway, continuing on. Mingo Mango, what's the channel? Has Mingo Mango posted the channel just yet? If you post the channel, we can take a look. I'll just wait on you to post the channel, man. Somebody let me know if Mingo Mango posts the channel. Arkell Johnson, thanks for the 10. Predictions. I predict Zunisha will be revealed to be from the Ancient Kingdom, just as Joy Boy, and that they are maybe the same age. After all, the Sun God appeared during the First/Second World. Zunisha will be revealed to be from... Okay, let's take a look at that. 1 second. I don't know if all that will happen next chapter, but I'm curious. If we get Zunisha reveals next chapter, that'd be kind of crazy. Zunisha is revealed to be from Ancient Kingdom, like Joy Boy. They are maybe the same age. I could definitely imagine that. Okay. I could definitely imagine that being true. I just don't know if we'll get that reveal next chapter. But thanks for the... if you're right, that'd be a great call. Tofi, what's up, man? And thanks for being a Pirate King tier member for so long. And thanks for your contribution to the Pirate King podcast last time, because I thought your submission was very interesting. Adding from... Yo, Morj, thanks for adding my theory to the latest Pirate King podcast. No, it was a very interesting idea. I'm glad I got to read through that. It was a fun one to listen to, too. Yeah, I'm happy you enjoyed my recounting of what you were talking about and me just discussing my thoughts on it. Is Usopp the biggest candidate to deal with the Nightmare Monsters? Monster Trio is busy with Loki right now. Those Nightmare Monsters, I think people are just... I think it's easy to I genuinely think that it's easy to forget right now just because like we're looking at the monsters and it's like, oh, the monsters are, they're really big. I think it's genuinely easy to forget how big they are here. Because you look at them and you're like, okay, well, it's a dragon. The Strahds can deal with something like that. I don't think so. I don't know about that. I don't know about non-monster trio Strahds because people are forgetting the scale. I think it's just the scale is tricking us because we're seeing this from the Giants' perspective. I don't even know how to describe it from the Strahds' perspective. It would be like I think it would be like an ant trying to fight an elephant or something the Strahds are so tiny compared to these creatures. It is insane. Like if you recall, Usopp couldn't do anything to the fucking Punk Hazard dragon. Like the Punk Hazard dragon. The Punk Hazard dragon. This dragon is essentially to the Punk Hazard dragon what a giant is to a normal human. Does that make sense? Like this is 100 times bigger than the Punk Hazard dragon or something like that. Like these things are fucking gigantic. I don't know what I think that the Strahds will be useful against these, but I don't know. Usopp could empty the clip. I think he could do everything in his artillery. I can't imagine him killing some of these larger creatures. Maybe I'm overstating it. Maybe I'm just hyperfixating on how big the dragon is. They're not all that huge. But I just don't know, man. Like, this is not the same as taking down a giant or even taking down like a number. I think almost all of these are bigger than even the numbers. Like, I think even the smaller ones are bigger than the numbers. I might be wrong. And then some stuff, again, like the dragon is just so absurdly huge. Like, this dragon right here might be in the running for, like, largest creatures in One Piece history. I might be overestimating or something like that, but, like, I think this dragon is fucking closer to Zunisha size than it is to, like, Or's size. Does that make sense? GDN, thanks for the 2. I do think it's a big deal that the monster trio is occupied with Loki at the moment. So I think that that's what's going to allow chaos to kind of reign up above. So I do think that's a good point. I just don't know if... I can't imagine Usopp... I don't know if even Nami can take out one of these with, like all for max lightning or something. They're just really fucking big. I might be just... Saul took out the Jormungandr. Yeah, but, like, Saul's already giant size, and he's got hockey and everything like that. I'm saying I don't know if, like, Usopp can do shit like that, you know? And the Jormungandr doesn't seem anywhere close to some of the size of, like, again, this dragon type thing. Oda might just be playing with scale. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. GDN, thanks for the 2. Sanji will be a hype tool for Loki. It's why he's there. I don't think... If Oda got the whole monster trio together just make Sanji the one that looks bad, I think that'd be kind of fucked. I think it would just be like a shame on you, Oda kind of moment. Like, come on, man. He goes through enough. Just let the man. That'd be so sad if Oda's like, oh, I gotta hype up Loki. I got Luffy and Zoro right in front of him. I gotta hype him up. What do I do? Okay, I can't make these two look bad. Let's just bring Sanji down here. He will be the punching bag. I don't think Oda is doing that. I feel like maybe the whole monster trio will have a bit of a struggle against Loki or something. I think we might get a whole show against all of them. I don't know. Be a hype tool for Loki. I feel like you guys are being a little bit tame with the predictions. I think what I'm noticing here is that I thought people would come out swinging in terms of, like, here's what's going to happen between this. What this tells me is that people really don't know. Like, people are doing some of the safer predictions, like, we might, what do you call? Like, Usopp will attempt to save a child but fail. I don't know. I'm not saying safer predictions. I guess what I mean is more so, like, the thing that I think is on a lot of our minds is, like, how is the showdown between Loki and the monster trio going to go, right? That's, I think, what we're all really curious about. I feel like people are almost hesitant to even make a claim about this. You know what I mean? I mean, I am myself. I don't know. It feels like it would feel almost too drastic to say something like, Loki will beat up the entire monster trio. That feels too drastic. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, will Luffy defeat Loki or something? I don't know if that's going to happen just yet. Like, it's very hard. How's Loki going to get out of his other cuff? Are they going to free him so he stops, like, raining lightning down on Elbaf? I think I thought people would come out swinging with predictions like Zoro's going to clash with Loki or, like, impress Loki. Like, I thought people would have predictions like a monster trio team attack or, like, Loki wipes out the monster trio. But I think people are just genuinely so uncertain right now as to how that whole showdown's going to go down that I think that people aren't making drastic predictions about it. Okay, Mingo Mango's channel. Let's take a look. SVZ. Let's see. All right. So what your initial question was, if I recall, because I want to address your initial question, but Mingo Mango, I believe your initial question was, first of all, congrats on hitting 1,000 subscribers. That is hard to do. I would almost say you did the hardest part, I think. I would almost say you did the hardest part right there. I think getting that initial following going is really fucking difficult. I think the next hardest part is 1 to 10K. I think 10K to 100K, that's very doable as long as you just keep doing what you've been doing. And like, because once you've got 10K subscribers, you've clearly got something rolling. And now it's just a matter of consistency and it's always a matter of consistency, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of, like, now when people visit your channel, they view you as basically like not just some random. They view you as like, oh, this is like a double-digit subscriber. Like, it's very subconscious. They're not thinking this consciously, but it's just a thing. And you're just in the phase where you just got to keep at it, basically, once you're in that 10K to 100K phase. But getting rolling when you've got nothing, like getting to the first 100 subscribers or first 1,000 subscribers, that is pain. Because it's like people go to your channel, they're just like, this person's not a real content creator. They've got like 50 subs. They've got like 210 subs or something. Like, it just seems like nothing. It just seems like a ghost town. So it's hard to get people to subscribe when you don't, social proof is a very big thing. Social proof is a very big thing in terms of getting more people to subscribe. So once you've got 1,000, that's good. Serious props to you. You got through a really hard part of the journey. Now, your question was, what should I do to avoid a viewer plateau? So let's see first. Are you experiencing a viewer plateau? The first thing I'll say, right, is that when you're covering an anime, right, a lot of what your viewership comes down to will often be just, especially when you're covering just one series, right, like One Piece. A lot of what your viewership will come down to is how well the series itself is doing. If the series itself is doing well, then and people are really hyped, then organically what's happening in the algorithm is people are being recommended more and more One Piece videos because people are fiending for more One Piece content. It's the same way that when the summer's going on, YouTube doesn't promote NBA content that much because people aren't clicking. So channels that I know might still be pumping out NBA content, but it's maybe not coming across my feed because in general I'm just not consuming that much NBA, if that makes sense. So One Piece, it's a similar thing. If something boring is going on, then it's often not you. It's just the way things are for that moment in time. So don't overthink that. I disagree with this, but it is what it is. I noticed that I think that a lot of your content is not based on current events, I think. So I think that that's kind of good because it makes it a bit more evergreen. Oh, shit. So you had a huge video here. I would need to probably actually watch the video to understand why this video really took off. Maybe it was at a point in time. You did a couple of Zoro videos back to back. Maybe this was right when Zoro defeated Lucci or something like that. So that got, so people wanted to watch Zoro content and then this video dropped. I might be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Sometimes it's out of your control why something just happens to break out. But don't use this as your benchmark. That stuff will just happen randomly sometimes. So what's really your benchmark? To me, in terms of trying to avoid a plateau, I think you need to keep doing what's working, right? So for example, you're getting consistent viewership here. this may also be because Egghead was at a very exciting point, right? So that's also possible. So don't overthink it too much in terms of like, oh, it might be me that's causing a viewership decline. It also just a lot comes down to how hype is One Piece. So right now, One Piece hype is picking up back up quite a bit as the events of Elbaf build. So there's going to be a natural uptick in viewership. But anyway, Marines and the Conqueror, you're doing discussions here, right? Like you're discussing things about, you've got a consistent style of thumbnail as well. I think that's good because people can recognize your videos. Again, a good discussion topic, right? This one might be too specific. Zoro didn't need Conqueror's Haki to beat King the Wildfire. I think this one might be too specific. These topics are a bit broader, right? Like fastest fighters in One Piece, right? Marines and Conqueror's Haki. Yonko Kaido will never be Power Cliff. This is very specific. This title is a little vague, I guess, because it's like a... I don't know what this video is actually talking about. What will we see from Usopp in and after Elbaf? So the reality is that some characters are not going to get you clicks as much as other characters. I think these videos that are One Piece talks, which is just taking one particular quote and then talking about it a lot, I don't think that that's doing it for you as much. Zoro and Sanji will probably catch up to Luffy. Yeah, so this is like a broader topic that seems like it will do well. This is maybe your first chapter review, and it seems like that's not what people tend to go to your channel for as much. Yeah, this is another good one, right? The most lethal One Piece fighters based on feats for now. Similar to the Kizaru topic. I personally think and this is another, it seems like your Zoro videos tend to do well, so maybe you've attracted a good Zoro fan base as well, right? Likely because of the Zoro's Beloved Blade thing. So overall, I think basically, it's as simple as looking at the topics that have been working for you and sticking to those, right? Like sticking to that sort of format. I think the talks don't work as well. I think that when you get too specific with a topic, maybe it doesn't work as well. And then it looks like sometimes when you miss a little bit, it's unsurprisingly with characters that are fundamentally not as popular, right? You throw Zoro on a thumbnail, you throw Kaido on a thumbnail, you throw Kizaru, Sanji, Kaido and stuff on thumbnails, Mihawk on thumbnails. Those are just inherently going to be more interesting topics to more people than talking about like Big Mom right now, or Kid right now, or Usopp right now. I find that there's characters that are good to talk about when the story demands, right? So I would never drop a Big Mom video right now. If we cut away to a chapter talking about the Big Mom pirates or something, or teasing a Big Mom return, then maybe I'd drop a Big Mom video. Similar to something like that with Kid. If Usopp did something, I'd drop an Usopp video, but just dropping an Usopp video right now, I wouldn't necessarily do that. Anyway, sorry if that went on a little long, you guys. I think I couldn't help myself just thinking out loud about some of these things. Anyway, continuing on. Maybe you guys find that somewhat interesting, maybe not. Anyway, continuing on. Manny, thanks for the 5. Would you rather get hit with Nami's happiness punch or Robin's ball grab? I think... if Robin's ball grab was more gentle... I shouldn't even be answering this question. If it was more gentle, but I think I'm just going to say it seems painful in the story. So by default, that one's a no. Dreams, thanks for the 5. Loki will say something among fight someone your own size to Luffy, then Luffy will go giant gear 5. Oh, that'd be kind of crazy. Loki, I'll say taunts Luffy about size. Luffy goes giant gear 5. Kush did 7-11. Thanks for the 2. That's funny. Prediction, Ragnar has mythical zone Raiju fruit. What's a Raiju? Oh, in Japanese mythology. Ah, that's cool. I didn't know about this. So it's like a lightning wolf type creature in Japanese mythology. That's interesting. No, that would be, if you nail that, I think that's a really cool call. Good call. I think, does anyone have a good guess for what Loki's fruit might be? Ragnar has mythic... My generic guess has been a storm fruit. That's just my straightforward guess. And I think storm fruit could be like... You know how some fruits are strictly better than other fruits? I think storm fruit could be like the upgraded version of the lightning fruit. Ragnar has mythical Zoan Raiju fruit. Oh, Loki didn't give Shanks permanent damage like Teach. Is that a prediction? I mean, I believe that. I don't think Loki did. Loki didn't give Shanks. Let's get the stream likes up to 150, by the way. Permanent damage like Teach. Isaac St. Charlos. Middleway, thanks for the 5. Middleway, is this Middleway the? Let's see real quick. I might be mixing you up. No, yeah, you're a YouTuber. Yeah, you're a YouTuber. You're a big Sanji fan. Middleway is a big Sanji fan. If you're a Sanji fan, then go check out Middleway's channel. Yeah, this is Middleway's channel. I guess if we're doing channel shoutouts at the moment. But anyway, big Sanji fan. Let's see what you're thinking. Gaban arrives and slaves. Okay, it tracks because a big Sanji fan, right? Gaban arrives and slays the dragon in one attack. Loki baits Luffy into freeing him by saying he'd be a coward like Shanks if he didn't. I'll separate those two predictions. I do think Gaban arriving to save somebody makes sense. I feel like it'd be pretty fast if it happened this chapter, because he kind of just did the cool like heroes, not the cool like badass old guy thing where it's like, oh, it's not my time to do things, so I'm just gonna step out for a little bit and let you kids handle it, and then come back to save the day. I guess Rayleigh's turnaround was also really fast, because it was kind of like, I'll see you guys in 3 days, and then like 3 chapters later he's like saving their ass from Kizaru. But that only happened when shit went really south. So I feel like if Gaban's gonna come in to save the day, I think it might have to be like, I think it might this scenario might play out a few chapters before then Gaban's kind of coming in clutch at the end. Because I mean Colin, right? Colin's Gaban's kid. That's pretty important to him, I imagine. Gaban arrives and slays the dragon in one attack. Loki baits Luffy into freeing him by calling him a coward like Shanks if he didn't. Jinbei puts out the fire again. Hashtag fireman Jinbei. I could see Jinbei doing that. Also, let's get the stream likes up to 150 real quick. I think that actually would be a perfect use for Jinbei. Jinbei the fireman, Jinbei the mailman. Jinbei's just a utility guy. If you ask some people, Jinbei is one of the iconic duo of One Piece, Luffy and Jinbei. Right up there with Luffy and Zoro and Sanji. It's Luffy and Jinbei, if you ask some people. But in reality, we all know that Jinbei is third-tier character, rarely featured with Luffy in any sort of meaningful capacity, at least post-Marineford. And is more so a mailman and fireman type character than a, iconic pillar of One Piece type character, Okay, continuing on. Jinbei puts out fire. It's from Gold Burrito. Hellraiser X22. Oh, whoops. Do you think Usopp right now can defeat Luffy at any point pre-time skip? I think Usopp right now, I think Usopp's really tricky, because, he's the hardest to make a, what do you call? Usopp is the hardest to scale in general in the story. I think Usopp and Nami are both very hard to scale, because ultimately it comes down to they can always be written to punch way above their weight class. The question is, will Oda choose to? Because we know that if they have to fight someone directly, and that character is really intense. I think Nami is an interesting case now, because Zeus is almost like autopilot at this point, because at least pre-time skip, if you go back and read the fights that Nami would win, they were heavily, heavily, heavily dependent on her opponent just like toying with her or doing nothing for an extended period of time in the battle. Like an extended. Like Khalifa literally took a bath during the Nami fight because it wasn't even a fight. Like Nami versus Khalifa, it would have been over immediately if Khalifa actually wanted to kill Nami. The difference is, though, that back then Nami actually needed time and setup to do her traps and her abilities. Now that she is Zeus, I think that need has largely disappeared to some degree. I think we need to see her more in an extended fight scenario to say if that's for sure. But Zeus can kind of just attack, and it's a homing ability, so it can solve the speed issue for her a little bit as well. So I'm going to put Nami in a separate category. I don't really know what to say about her, right? With Usopp, it's always just been the case if Usopp is given the right windows and the right opportunities and like a little bit of time to plan and prepare and set things up, Usopp can do a lot more than he otherwise should be capable of, right? But it's always dependent on him getting those sort of extended openings. So like Usopp versus Chu, right? Chu would just kill Usopp if not for the fact that Usopp played dead. Like Usopp literally thought, Chu literally thought that Usopp was defeated, and Chu was leaving the scene, and that gives Usopp like the time and the window to like think of a plan, prepare it, like he has some distance. Usopp always needs distance. He can think of a plan. He can then like get up by his at his own pace, sort of set the tempo of how the fight's gonna go. Like he's got some distance, which he always needs. He's got time to figure out what he's gonna do next, and so he takes out Chu. The Mr. 4 fight, similar scenario. Like Chopper was taking a lot of the heat off of Usopp. Chopper did a lot of that sort of thing. Like so, Usopp just had a lot of time to set up, and he had a buddy to play off of. Perona fight. Perona was thrown off by Usopp's shit early on. Then Usopp had to run for a while. So a lot of it was like Usopp chasing Perona. Usopp had to tank a lot of damage. Yeah, that's another aspect, which is that Usopp had like. Oftentimes, if Usopp's given a window to think and plan, it comes down to like how much damage can he tank. You know, like when Usopp was pitted against Jabura was just gonna kill him. Like, so it's not the usual thing of like Usopp's a punching bag for a while, and that allows him to like, it gives him time. Like his damage tanking ability is actually low key one of the biggest factors in Usopp being able to pull off plans, because like he can get the shit beat out of him for a long period of time. That allows him to also have more time to strategize or let his opponent think he's done for, or like his opponent like starts underestimating him and stuff like that, right? So that happens in the Chu fight, the Mr. 4 fight. But then once you're up against someone that's Chu out of your level, like Jabura was just gonna kill him if Sanji didn't intervene. Like it was just pretty much over for Usopp, right? So with that in mind, post time skip, it's just really fucking hard to say because I don't know how to scale that stupid fucking fishman that Usopp fought early on. I would go so as far to say as Perona is likely a more dangerous character than that fishman that Usopp fought in Fishman Island. Not physically, but like Perona's full ability set is a bigger deal, right? So we actually have no way to scale Usopp at this point in time. Like he fought Treble and Sugar, but he actually lost that fight. He just screamed really loud and that freaked Sugar out. So I really don't fucking know. I think that if Usopp had to fight Luffy all of a sudden, pre-time skip, like Gears Luffy, I think Usopp would lose. Usopp put up such a good fight against Luffy in Water 7 because Usopp had a lot of time to prep and prepare. I think if you took Usopp as he is right now and made him fight Gear 2nd pre-time skip Luffy, I still think Usopp would lose. I think that he would lose off the bat. I think Luffy is I think that he could lose to pre-time skip Luffy if he had to fight him off the bat. If you give Usopp any sort of planning, though, he beats any version of pre-time skip Luffy. That's my feeling. I just think that post-time skip Usopp has almost no... I don't think he has any good feats, I think, against any character that is moderately strong that he has had to fight in the spur of the moment. I think that has not happened yet, which is kind of crazy because it's been 600 chapters. Yeah. Oof says Luffy didn't have Gear 2nd in Water 7. Yeah, but Usopp has upgraded like way more between Water 7 to post time skip, right? But that's not really the point. The point is more so like pre-time skip at that point in time, you got to remember, at that point in time, if Usopp had to fight, like there's just always been a huge gap in terms of Usopp with some planning versus Usopp without planning, right? That very same Usopp that was able to take Luffy to like decent difficulty in Water 7, he could only do that thanks to planning. Because without planning, if he's just dropped into a fight, he can lose to random thugs like the Frankie family. Like, he literally was helpless against randoms from the Frankie family when it's a fight that's happening spur of the moment, right? If Usopp gets a lot of planning, then pre-time skip Usopp could even do a decent job against, like pre-Gears Luffy, right? So I'm saying in a similar vein, Usopp right now, if he had planning, I think he can take any version of pre-time skip Luffy. If he had planning. But if Usopp doesn't have planning and he just has to fight in the spur of the moment, like just suddenly, like Luffy turns, like gear second, gear third, Luffy is just ready to fight him. Or better example, fucking Lucci from pre-time skip is just like right in front of Usopp wanting to fight him. I think Usopp would lose, especially if there's no distance. Like if Lucci is like standing like 10 feet away and the fight starts, I think Usopp's just done for. That's my thought. Anyway, continuing on. Let's get the stream likes up to 150 real quick. Existential Crisis, thanks for the 2. Vindication, I was right about Hanafuda being dad. Yeah. Hanafuda was the dad of Ulti and Page 1. I wonder if we ever see Hanafuda in some fashion. The boy who cried Super Saiyan, I don't know what happened to your comment, but thanks for the 2. Nile Show, thanks for the 2. Zoro hype chapter, gonna look as good as Rooftop. I don't know if this is a chapter to hype Zoro. I personally feel like this is a chapter that's set to hype Loki. I think Loki's gonna get hyped next. I don't think there's a need to hype. I think that's just the direction we're headed, but let's see. Zoro hype chapter a la Rooftop. I think that's a little bit too broad, but people are being a little bit stingy with their predictions, I think, this time, because I think that it's just a very hard chapter to predict, and no one wants to... I think there's too many wild swings. So we'll put it up here at the moment. But I think people are like a little hesitant to throw out like big predictions, I think. The boy who cried Super Saiyan, thanks for the 2. Bonnie will step in to protect the kids using Nika. Oh! Would Bonnie be affected by this shit? Because Bonnie's a child. I don't know how they triangulated, like, oh, we're going to mainly go after children here. How do you guys think they chose to do that? Like, do you think that they did something where specifically children are getting targeted? Or do you think that it's just like, no, they just went after the kids that they saw were left alone? Or, like, they went after it looked like they went after the PE teacher and then stole the kids from him. So I think that makes sense. Okay. Bonnie will step in to protect kids in Nika form. The boy who cried Super Saiyan. It's a funny name. Tomahawk PWPT, good to see you, man. Thanks for the 5. It doesn't help that his only showing in any recent post-time skip matchup was his poor showing versus Page 1, whereas Kit did nothing and it needed Big Mom to solo. Yeah, Usopp just doesn't have firepower right now. He just doesn't have firepower. I'm almost like, could he even hurt pre-time skip Luffy with his current kit? Like, I think if he planned for it and did stuff like he did in Water 7 fight, like use spikes and everything, he'd have a good shot. But right now, I'm just like, how much does he have that could actually hurt even pre-time skip Luffy? I think gases have often been effective in Luffy, like pre-time skip. Not often, but like I think they could be effective, so maybe gases could work. I don't know. Yeah, Page 1 Usopp was basically useless. Like, I did actually go back and read through the Page 1 and Nami fight and even watched a bit of it from the anime. Usopp wasn't useless, but like a lot of his stuff was like having flowers and shit bloom from like explode from Page 1 that didn't actually do damage. Nothing was doing damage. Baka, thanks for the 2 and thanks for your first super oh, I'm sorry. It looks like it didn't come out. Tapio Treviso says, do you think the Nightmares will be a good second commander level force for the Gods Knights? I don't know how the scaling will work necessarily. I don't think it's second commander like, I don't know about the scaling for them. I really don't know. Wait. How did the poll go for the previous one? Shit, how did the poll go? Completely missed it. Does anyone remember how the poll went for the... What did people say between the Sommers versus Killingham thing? Hello? Does anyone remember? Did I even end up doing that poll? I'll do the poll again just to see. Oof says, nah, those impact dials hurt. Yeah, but he doesn't even have them on now. Like, does he have impact dials with him anymore? Akash Bandit, thanks for the 2. Favorite nightmare design? Fenrir for me, so unique, lol. Favorite nightmare design? Someone said that this looked like Thorkel from Vinland Saga. I definitely feel that way. Honestly, favorite nightmare design is like this scary version of Nika. I think that's pretty cool. I like that one. The rest are pretty simple. Maybe this ghost one is... I find this ghost one pretty funny. Yeah. I think that's what I got. This, I think the scary Nika is my favorite one. The 2 using powers one. What does that mean? The 2, like, separate powers? Like, Sommers has... Like, Oof says Morj, Jarl and Shamrock chat like they're on friendly terms. Oh, that would be a crazy one. That'd be a crazy prediction if that's true. Jarl and Shamrock chat like they're friendly. You know one thing that was interesting, though? So, I think somebody... Who said this? Maybe it was... Somebody went online and said this. Maybe it was Arthur? Maybe it was Arthur, and I don't know 100% Arthur's translations or whatever, but this was a line that people picked up on, right? Which is the grave thing. Like, oh, did you go see... were you going to see... what's his name? Harold's grave, right? So that was a thing, a line that a lot of people picked up on. But... one thing that was said was... Okay, I guess there's one more chapter previously. But apparently, I believe it was Arthur. I don't want to put words in his mouth. Maybe it was somebody else. But there were some translations that were being broken down on Twitter where it was explained that... where the fuck is this shit? It was explained that this comment about seeing Harold's grave is sarcastic. Or was the tone? Paying a visit to Harold's grave. I don't know. Can any Japanese speakers confirm or deny? Is that the case? 66% was separate powers and 33% was the other one. Okay, so then if Sommers is the seemingly stronger character here, that's pretty interesting. That does make sense, because the Nightmare ability seems to be a very, very powerful ability. So it going to Sommers, I think, would make a lot of sense. Especially because in this latest chapter, he's asking about fears and, like, what do you fear and everything like that. So I'm curious how strong Sommers is in the grand scheme of things then, because that is potentially... Akash Panda says it is sarcastic. Okay, so I would say that then it's not sealing in the... Because a lot of people jumped on that and said, basically... a lot of people jumped on that and said... Whoops, this should be 11:43. That, oh, this confirms that Harold was a traitor or whatever. I don't think we're quite there yet, right? I don't think we're quite there. Lewis Buchanan says Colin will attack the Gods Knights. I could definitely see that. Colin would do some shit like that. Colin will attack the Gods Knights. Might have to make this a little bit smaller. Here, let me just see what the framing looks like at the moment. Yeah, I'm cutting off a little bit here. Yeah, I'll just change this to be a little bit smaller. Let me just move some shit around. There we go. All right, open up a bit more space. Honestly, I can move this here a little bit. All right. Okay. It is sarcastic. Okay, cool. Oof says, who put the Jarl and Shamrock thing? I thought you did. Oof, was that not you? Oof says he didn't say that? Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I think I misread that. Oh, no, oof. You did say that. Someone else. It's a different oof. Another oof said that. I'm sorry, but the credit goes to some oof. Bragg, thanks for the 5. Probably not next chapter, but I think Gear 5th Luffy will be able to bend Gunko's arrows in a fight. Hey, I'll put it down for next chapter, and maybe we'll be right in the future. And that'll just be a moral victory. Luffy will be... I do think that's probably true, because, like, it's symbolic, like, future being set by Gunko's arrows or whatever, but then Luffy can change the future or whatever, so he can actually alter ability. I think that'd be cool. Or Bonnie could do it, maybe, like some people suggested, because I do think a Bonnie-Gunko fight... There's something there. Revolutionary Army connection, the abilities being opposites. Some people talking about Ginny-related shit. Who knows? It's the other oof. Can one of you two oofs, like, change your name or something like that? Yeah, there are two oofs. Oof says, I'm oof, buddy. All right. Somebody else is also. Don't know what to say. I still don't know if the original oof... Only OG viewers know the story of the original oof. I think it's on Morj Unleashed somewhere, but I forget. The original oof was back when I didn't even live... I lived in Baltimore at that point in time. That was the original oof adventure. That or storyline, I suppose. I still don't know if either of you are that oof, or if oof is like, that was just a character that once existed and then since then has had lots of copycats, like a Spartacus situation. Come outside, other oof says oof. I still don't know who was the original oof. Oof claims I was here first, dog. Who was the oof that had that shit happen to them way back? Tom says Morj back during the Sunday streams. That was back during the Sunday streams. Yeah, the Sunday streams were a bad idea. The Sunday streams made sense during COVID. During COVID, they made a lot of sense because everyone's on lockdown or whatever. And then at a certain point, it was just like, this is very difficult for me to do every single Sunday without, like, because there were days like I'm just fucking hungover or something like that. Or, like, not even hungover, but just, like, tired or something from the night. But, like, you know. Andrew and Ami says Sunday streams were so good. I think Sunday streams, when I was, like, up, refreshed, full day ahead of me and stuff, that felt really good. Those Sunday streams felt really good. But then there were other times that maybe you guys didn't know, but, like, Sunday streams were, like, difficult for me to get up for, or, like, difficult for me to really do just because it was an effort. That's all I got to say. Chris Morales says me, but name changed at Morj. I don't know. I can't believe anybody. Oof says I changed my name from Omni and Estrada to Oof before the raid failing theory. Lol. This is me now. Okay, I think I kind of remember that. Any chance you want to change your name back? Any chance? That would be nice. That would be really good for everybody, I think. Yusuf Anka says, don't scratch that hangover it is. I'm not trying to say that was like every weekend or anything, but like if I was doing anything on Saturday, especially as like lockdown stuff sort of started to once lockdown stuff sort of just slowly started to ease out and people started seeing each other again, especially like 2021, first half of 2021, it just became really hard to keep up the Sunday stream system. Wait, the legendary Oof is here, asks New X7. Who is he? No, don't worry about it. We don't know. We'll never know. Oof says, Morj, want me to post you the stream I got banned? Cross-reference the profile picture? I could believe that. I do think that makes sense. It could be that. It could be that. You could be that Oof. I think you could be that Oof. You left quite the impression. I oughta ban you again. Just for old time's sake. It might happen. I think it might be happening. I think it might be happening. I think it might be funny. And it wouldn't be permanent. It would just be a temporary sort of thing. I'm just going to put you in timeout. Nothing crazy. Put you in timeout for 5 minutes. There we go. I'm sorry. It's just, I think it's too good to pass up. All right, continuing on. Jacob says, why was the OG Oof banned again? I mean, this might have been the OG Oof. We don't know. The answer as to why he was banned, I don't remember. We'd have to go watch a Morj Unleashed video. I think it's on Morj Unleashed channel. NewX7 says, is this the Oof? Maybe. I don't know. I think so. It could be. I think we'd have to pull up the OG stream, because the OG stream is on my channel, and I think we made a condensed version of it on Morj Unleashed. Let's take a look real quick. Hold on, let me pull some shit up. Pulling up Morj Unleashed. Just like the old days. Let's see. It was like the day more. Hold on. I kind of want to react to some of these old Morj Unleashed videos. These were funny, at least to me. I know to a lot of you. Oh, man. Morj completely destroys teching at Jeopardy. This was a video of me just getting destroyed at Jeopardy by teching. I think I got like one question right over him. What are these titles, man? These titles are insane. Don't let Morj in your car. This is when my car got stolen. God damn it. If Luffy was real, I would hate him? I don't even understand that. Okay, I swear there's a video on this. Hold on, let's see if we can find it. Fuck. No. Did anyone see it? I swear it was here. Usopp souls, blah, blah, blah. More shits on every manga. That's on... shit. One Piece fake deaths. What, Hawkins? One Piece is real. I thought it was like a video like the day Morj destroyed a viewer's life or something like that. I swear there was a video of this. Does anyone remember? Shit. Man, I guess not. Maybe I'm missing it. I guess not. Well, it's on the OG channel. Where is it? The day Morj ruined a viewer's life? Did I miss it? Oh, it's right here. It's right fucking here. All right, here we go.
Oh, because, there's no oof. I think
at the time, right? This was young Morj trying to learn. Oh my god, this is a video of me reacting to a video of that or something like that. Hold on. Let's see if we could get to that video.
What did I do? No. I think I literally just hid my own messages. Oh, wait, no, undo. There was an undo button. How do I undo it? Oh, no.
I look so young. Actually, I look basically the same.
Oh, no, I didn't hid my own... What did I do? I hid someone's messages. How do I fix this? Oh, man.
I banned this
sorry. But I can't let your situation derail the stream, so we're going to move on.
And then this caused a whole lot of controversy for some reason or another, because I couldn't figure out how to unban them, because I wasn't a pro streamer at this point. Yeah, that's what okay, I like that my past self is able to explain to my current self what my past self did. I couldn't figure out how to unban him, right? This was young Morj trying to learn. Yeah. All right? Yeah, I was just young. I was just trying to learn. Oh, I could ban and unban people like that. I don't know if that's true. Tapio Treviso says, I look so young, only facial hair difference. Hey, that's a compliment. I do genuinely think I could pass for the same age as I did back then. Outside of facial hair. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't really know if I could unban people like that. But at the time, I definitely couldn't.
So Mario Goel says, "Oof will not be forgotten." Guys, I won't lie to you, I literally forgot about Oof until I saw this. Oof died for our freedom. I don't know if you guys have freedom. I don't know if...
Okay. Prague says rumor has it that he is banned at this very moment. That is correct.
He really died for that. I don't know if you guys got freedom off of Oof's sacrifice. Enter name, thanks a lot. The 3 dots on the right of top chat could maybe bring back Oof.
I like how it's baby. Like, this is some sort of like, it's like a movie and something catastrophic has happened. And it's like, well, this is our one hope. Like, maybe if we use this special USB stick, we could like stop the robot apocalypse or something, you know? Like,
all right. You think here? Participants?
What happens here?
What's that mean? Oh, look at all this. Oh my god. Yeah,
all right, let's get to
see
what
everybody.
happens here.
Guys, I don't know if I see Oof here. Oh, because, yeah, there's no Oof.
Yeah.
I think Oof left.
I think Oof fucked off.
Oof's gone. Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah. That is interesting. What the fuck?
Interesting. Zoe Egan says, "Oof is the light. Oof is the light that's extinguished from history." I guess that would.
I think it's interesting that this many years have passed, and if you ask me right now how to bring somebody back who I had accidentally put in timeout, I still wouldn't know how to do it. I just think that's interesting.
Make me in.
Probably says something about YouTube's poor user interface, in my opinion. So I accidentally banned this person. I was trying to figure out how to unban them, and then I very quickly gave up, and then that led to a lot of people rioting in chat, demanding that I unban this person named Oof. And I came to a conclusion, which was that, you know what? If Oof got banned on accident, well, I like to believe that in life there are no accidents. So I was so wise in my younger days. That's a good line. I agree. I think that makes sense. Maybe that there's no... And I'm citing One Piece right here. This guy knew what he was talking about. This dude right here in this video. I think you see a whole character arc here. You see my young self making a mistake. Then my less young self, we could call this me in my prime. With the wisdom explaining why I didn't make a mistake. And then you have now me in my current state remembering the wisdom of my younger self. So Oof was like a beautiful circle of lack of growth. Shitty person. So I stood by that ban, and I was very proud of it.
I don't think anyone's going to inherit Oof's will. I think we kind of just move past Oof, you know? Probably not even a good guy, now that you think about it.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe he deserved being permanently extinguished. You know? Have you thought about that? Maybe I accidentally did something really good.
Yeah. I do think I did something good. Fuck that guy. I oughta... If Oof comes back here, I might ban him for another 5 minutes.
Right? Yeah. 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 What kind of a name is Oof, anyway? Yeah, huh?
That's a good point. Okay, younger Morj also made some good points. So you've just got to... For you guys, this must be pretty exciting, because you've got a whole cascading stream of, like, younger Morj having some great insights, young Morj having some great insights, and then myself having some great insights about how my previous versions of myself had great insights. So for you guys, this must be very insightful.
What kind of a name is Oof? I don't know. I don't like the sound of that. You know, I think...
Oof is back? Is Oof back? Where is he? Where is he? Oof, show yourself. No, it's not the same Oof. Oh, Oof is back. Okay, Oof said, all I said was put a higher tier named Usopp God tier. I'm sorry, Oof, but it's just going to have to happen again. It's not going to be a regular recurring bit on the stream, I promise. But it's too funny to not do again in this moment. So I got to say bye to you for another 5 minutes. It's nothing personal at all. It's just what this stream turned into. All right.
I think I did good. I think that was probably the right move. You know? Wait, is Oof back? Is Oof back? I hope.
God. The past mirrors the future, huh?
Oof isn't listening to what I'm saying. I made him so sad he left.
The rest of the stream, people were mean to me for banning Oof. I was drinking in this stream? Oh my god, no wonder I'm being so rude. Oh shit, maybe I shouldn't be idolizing this past version of myself. I've literally... Is that a loose cannon? What am I drinking right now? So I held a few polls to determine whether I was in the right or Oof. And what do you know? The polls were rigged. And somehow everyone voted against me and they sided with Oof.
Let's rephrase this.
This was back when straw polls were a thing, yeah.
Who do you like better? Morj or Oof?
This hurt. This was the day that you all betrayed me pretty bad.
Morj.
This was not right. This just wasn't right.
Guy. Oof the doof.
I feel like you guys know me better than Oof.
Alright, maybe this will clear things up a little bit.
This did hurt. This did hurt. That just wasn't right. That just wasn't right. That hurt. Tom with the 2 asking, is Oof being revived bad writing? He has the will of P. I think it's good writing because it gives him chances to grow. It gives me chances to grow ultimately, but I don't really grow, so I guess it gives him chances to grow. One of us is supposed to grow, I think, in this whole scenario.
No.
All right, and that's basically the gist of things. So to date, Oof. I like the way I wrap things up right there. That's basically the gist of things, because that was basically the gist of things. Good storytelling, younger Morj. Remains probably the most notorious villain of Morj streams. Rightfully still banned. Hopefully passed away onto the next world. Oh my god, that's pretty dark. Keep in mind, I was drinking at this point in time. I hope, even though I hope Oof is stewing in his ban at the moment, I hope that he's still very much alive and kicking. So never to be seen of again. That's pretty much. This was not true because Oof returned apparently in general, and now we've got multiple. We've got a few different Oofs at the same time. All right, the full story. But once in a while, you get some Oof inheritors. So I'll see some people carrying on the will of Oof, showing up in chat with Oof as their name, but I know it's not the real Oof. I just have a feeling. This time it might have been the real Oof. I think the real Oof may have returned, and I just didn't really realize. Okay, so we got some good history right there. And that actually does lead me to a good question. Another poll? Run another poll? All right, we can run another poll. But we know how it's going to go this time because a lot has changed. I think I've grown on a lot of you over time. And so at this point in time, I believe at this point in time where we're at right now, I feel like you guys would side with me over a completely random person in chat. I feel like I've built up enough goodwill at this point in time that is possible. Who is in the right? Morj. Our streamer hero. Oof. Some asshole. I like this because it's kind of like redemption, right? Because like the previous time was like the raid failing when I lost the poll, but this time will kind of like be different. We can only assume with the